Hey, welcome back. I wanted to do a couple of videos kind of just going through, the first video will be things that I've discovered that I enjoy in books, and also I will do a follow-up video of things that I very much dislike in books. So yeah, I think this might be helpful if anyone is wanting to recommend books to me. Yeah, you can just kind of check the list, I guess. Obviously, as with everything in life, there are exceptions, of course. But as a general rule, these are things that I like in books. So the first one is an arranged or marriage of convenience. I have loved this trope for pretty much my whole reading life, as obviously teenager and up. But yes, I love it because it is, to me, the marriage of convenience. It shows a romantic relationship in which there's no romance right off the bat. I mean, most of the time there's no romance right off the bat. And so these people have to learn to love each other because of a commitment they made. So that is something that I find super powerful, and it can be used in marriages, all marriages that even start off with love. Because there are always things that come up in life, and you always have to choose your partner. You have to choose to love them. And I just think that's a really, I don't know, I just love that way of showing the commitment of love. Anyway, I should not spend this much time on each thing. For narrators, let's say I like, for the most part, my favorite narrators tend to be British male voices. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's just a nice listening, I don't know, it's just a nice time listening to a voice like that. But a few narrators that I wanted to point out that I have enjoyed, and they're not all British male. But John Cleese, Paul Bomer, Oliver J. Hemborough, Jessica Ball, Peter Joyce, Gemma Wellen, Simon Bubb. Those are just a few that I have found that I've really enjoyed. Yeah. I guess that's it for narrators. Back to the list. I like short chapters. There's something very motivating about having short chapters. It makes you feel like you're getting somewhere. Yeah, and it helps you to keep going. If you're maybe in a slog or a really boring part of the story, if there are short chapters, it's easier to digest it, I guess. I think I am a plot-driven reader. I definitely think I prefer that over a character-driven story. I think plot-driven stories are just a lot more fast-paced, and I enjoy fast-paced. I like when there's always something going on. I don't like to be reading where I'm like, I don't know what are we doing here? Where is this? What's the point of this? I don't like that. So, for the most part, I prefer single POV. POV is point of view. I mean, a couple POVs is fine too, but I just don't like a lot. Yeah, I really like to get into one person's frame of thought and see the story through their perspective. The perspective in which the author has chosen, I don't know. That's just what I prefer, I guess. I love isolated settings. If there's people on an island, and they're stuck on an island and something happens, or people in some kind of transportation, like an airplane or a vehicle or whatever, a train, and they're stuck together, or in a house or whatever, you know, just some kind of isolated setting. I really like that. Even, I will say this is a little bit different, but similar. I like survival stories. Watching, if it's one person surviving on their own somehow, they have been separated from the rest of humanity and they have to survive. Or if it's a small group of people that need to figure out how to survive, I really like survival stories as well. I actually like a lot of dialogue. I feel like most readers seem to like a lot of flowery writing or like descriptions or like atmospheric writing. There was a book recently that I did read that had that, and I did like it, but for the most part, I like a lot of dialogue and action. I don't really care as much what my surroundings look like, but I'm more interested in like who we're talking with and what's gonna happen, and more like that, I guess. I also prefer a satisfying end. I don't want it to be like super open-ended. If you are gonna wrap up your story, I need some closure. You don't have to tell me every little thing about how this story ends, but for the most part, I do need to feel like it was a satisfying ending. I don't want to be left to like make up my own ending or imagine what could have happened. That's not fun for me. I also really like books that happen like in a short amount of time. Like if there's like a book that happens in like, I don't know, like a week. The whole book is 1 week or something, you know, like it's really, really short amount of time. I love that. I don't know why. I don't know why. I have no insight as to why I like that, but I do. There's been a few books where, or a series actually, where the author has written a little like pre-blurb in front of each chapter. I know Dune did that, the series Dune. I know the Skin Map series, which is the Bright Empires. They did that. I really like that. Maybe I should try and find some examples. Hold on a sec. One of my favorite series ever, the Bright Empires series. For example, the little blurb at the beginning is like, the one in which Wilhelmina changes history much for the better. It's just like this kind of like, I don't know, like a kind of like a summary of what you're about to get. I don't know, it's like a teaser, and I really like that. A couple of more tropes that I like are like disappearance or missing persons. That's a good trope that I like. Wrongly accused or convicted, fugitive type of tropes. I really like those as well. And then one more thing I wanted to mention was middle grade. I realized that I really enjoy middle grade with nonsense. Like, I'm just looking at my favorites over there. Like, the Nevermore series to me is like a lot of nonsense. The Sword in the Stone story, what's it? That one's called Once and Future King, I think. That one, the two knights that squabble with each other is just nonsensical, and I love it. Like the Water Babies has nonsense, Alice in Wonderland has nonsense, Fortunately the Milk is nonsense. I just love that in middle grade. I don't know. We don't always have to be learning something, right? Sometimes we can just be entertained, and that's what I think middle grade should be for the most part. So yeah, I will follow this up with things that I don't like in books. So watch for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!